Up? It's your boy, one and only AR Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was abandoned by his family and had an unknown dojutsu. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series. If you guys have not seen it, please check it out. You guys will definitely like it. And yeah, guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be a lot helpful to me. And yeah, guys, I have also put the link of my Instagram within the description below, so please follow me on Instagram as well. And yeah. And for the next part, the like goal is gonna be, let's see about it, 300 likes and 150 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part of this series as quick as possible. So yeah, guys, without any further ado, let's start the video. As last time we left off, as we saw that how Minato and Kushina along with Jiraiya Tsunade came up with the brilliant idea that they should leave Konoha so that they can make their, you can say, other enemies to think that how Konoha is weak at the moment, while on the other hand Minato and Kushina would be the trump card, as well as the two new Jinchurikis of the Kyuubi known as the Menma and Naruto. They will train them on the way as Jiraiya and Tsunade along with the help of Minato and Kushina will make the other nations weak, so they will be weak when Konoha time will come to show that, you can say, ace that will be in the form of fourth Hokage as well as his family. As you can say, Jiraiya explained that how Naruto did not have any chakra, only one tail worth of chakra as well as the soul of the Kyuubi, and it was not comparable to both Menma and Naruto, who would need a lot of, you can say, more training than Naruto to control that power. So they decided to leave Naruto within Konoha, seeing that Konoha also needed a Jinchuriki to show the other nations that how the Kyuubi Jinchuriki is still within the village. And after that, they simply went off, as while on the other hand thinking that how, as Minato told, you can say, Hiruzen to not announce the status of Naruto, otherwise of him being his son, otherwise he would be spoiled, being praised by the villagers and things like that. But the plan did not go the same, but Minato and Kushina did not care at this point. They had more important, you can say, matters to discuss, such as the training of, you can say, Menma and Naruto, otherwise known as a child of destiny, by Jiraiya, seeing their potential or whatever he potential he saw in 3 to 4 years old kid or whatever. While on the other hand, Hiruzen didn't care. After all, you can say he had the village to take care of, so he simply let Naruto be on his own merry way. While on the other hand, Naruto was not, you can say, an ordinary child. He had, you can say, talent. He had, you can say, he was a prodigy of once in a generation. His mind was something else. He was easily able to figure out, you can say, the identity of his so-called parents, and even was able to confirm it from the Hokage tower after infiltrating it, as well as, you can say, making a deal with the Kyuubi to, you can say, make him a type of summon. By doing so, he will be immune to the sealing because he could easily reverse summon himself whenever he would be about to be sealed. While on the other hand, he will make, you can say, a seal for Kyuubi, making him immune to Jin half of the other human chakra, thus making him immune to all the genjutsu that are in the world, because whatever type of genjutsu could actually be, it is always performed by the yin chakra, thus making Kyuubi immune to human yin chakra, making him, you can say, immune to any and all genjutsu, even the Mangekyo or the Rinnegan genjutsu as well. So though the seal would have to be a lot powerful to repel such powerful chakras as well, while on the other hand Kyuubi had the millions of knowledge about the arts of sealing and things like that, but inside of the seal he was unable. Inside of Kushina and Mito he was chained up, while inside of Naruto's seal it was impossible to change it from inside. So Kyuubi's knowledge about the seal was next to, you can say, was not useful to him to free himself, but Naruto cut him a deal that if he were to help him to learn many jutsu that Kyuubi has collected over the centuries of being alive from the age of the stage of 6 birth, as well as, you can say, train him to about sealing arts, then he will allow Kyuubi to be freed in a sense. So Kyuubi made a deal with Naruto. So yeah, guys, that was the last part in which Naruto confirmed the identity of his parents as well as the secret plans of Minato to make Menma as a Hokage and Naruto to be the head of both Uzumaki and Namakase clan, and making Naruto to be the head of the side side branch of the, you can say, Namakase family and sent him into, you can say, dangerous double astronomic mission since he had one tail worth of 90 chakra, thus making him, you can say, somewhat of a Jinchuriki and making him, you can say, sending him into Ambu to serve Manma when he became Hokage and things like that. No, Naruto did not like it whatsoever, so he decided to have his own plans for the future. So yeah guys, that was the last part where we left off, so let's begin from here. As now let us begin. As 1 year has passed, in this time Naruto was training as hard as his body could allow him. At this point he was 7 year old. As Naruto was going through, you can say, different katas of the you can say taijutsu which Kyuubi was teaching him. It was mostly, you can say, kitsune style, which was quite, you can say, good for Naruto, as well as his Uzumaki stamina and chakra reserves, as Naruto was able to increase his chakra control thanks to this taijutsu style, because each and every move of this taijutsu requires somewhat, you can say, control of chakra with each and every movement, as Naruto was able to make claws in his hand as well as in his feet with the help of chakra, thus improving his chakra control even further. As Naruto was learning, you can say, the ceiling like it was, you can say, a play to him, as Kyuubi was really surprised as in 1 year Naruto was easily able to reach level 8. The kid's intelligence was really something else. At this point Naruto had already made a seal to improve his chakra control, seeing that the seal Minato had put on him intentionally made his chakra control shot to hell, as whenever Naruto reaches a chakra control of the, you can say, anywhere near to that of High Jonin, a surge of chakra automatically comes from the seal of the Kyuubi, thus you can say destroying his chakra control and making it a lot difficult, as Naruto was able to, you can say, avoid that, thus making a constant stream of Kyuubi chakra entering into his body, thus increasing his chakra reserves and blocking any and all, you can say, chakra surges from Kyuubi to Naruto's body, thus improving his chakra control to that of the level of a medic easily, as Naruto's hundreds of shadow clones were working on chakra control daily and advanced level, not low level like water walking or tree walking, while on the other hand Kyuubi was looking towards 500 of Naruto's clone who were working within the mindscape, as Kyuubi smirked at that. To be honest, in this time he started to have a, you can say, small soft spot for the brat, though he will never allow it outwardly, as Naruto was going through at this point the test so that it would certify him to be a level 8 seal master and thus entering into the level 9. As Kyuubi was looking towards Naruto, as Naruto was going through, you could say, sweet seals like they were nothing, as he finally completed a seal showing Kyuubi the seal, as Kyuubi go through the seal as his eyes narrowed. This was the same seal which was placed upon him when he was, you can say, sealed inside of Mito Uzumaki. As I said, quite intriguing, Naruto. So why did you make this specific seal? As Naruto said, well, this is a seal said to be in the middle level of the level 9 and level 8. Though I would, you can say that it is high level 8 seal. Though it required you to be, or any Biju to be unconscious or subdued, otherwise it will not work. As this seal required very, you can say, Biju's own chakra. Hey, you can say at least one tail worth of chakra to hold him back and, you can say, subdue him inside of the seal as well. So for a Biju to be sealed in this type of seal, Biju had to be, you can say, weakened at least for 3 days with absorption of chakra that is compared to you, of course. As Kyuubi nodded at that, after all Hashirama Senju subdued his chakra quite quickly thanks to the help of his Moketan, but he had to go through advanced techniques so that he can make the Kyuubi weaker as possible, but because so Mito could actually seal him away. That was the only reason he was subdued in such pathetic 8th level, you can say, seal. Otherwise he would have been broken out, but because of his, you can say, weakened power, and when he was sealed away, this seal was siphoning his chakra as well as strengthening his self. Otherwise Kyuubi would have broken out if he was put inside of the seal, you can say, without his, you can say, knowledge or things like that, or when he was at his full power, as Kyuubi nodded at that. But this seal can actually take care of at least 7 tail beetle Biju inside of it, no problem whatsoever. As Kyuubi nodded at that, a tail would also be put inside of him. After all, the 9 tail was, you can say, sealed inside of such a seal before. As Kyuubi looked toward the seal, as all the, you can say, all the intrigue design, all of it, as he simply nodded at that. Well, brat, I must say, that is quite impressive. As Naruto simply smiled at that. So, what do you say? As Biju looked towards the seal once again, as much as he hated to say it, this seal is ultimately perfect. As he simply nodded, well, congrats, Brad. Hereby you are level 8 seal master. As Naruto simply smirked at that, huh. Well then, it's about time that we entered into the level 9. As QB smirked, well, there are aspects in level 9, though most of the so-called futures masters always skip it. It is high level 9. Only few of the people ever get into it, even your mother Kushina. As Naruto simply did not say anything, as Kyuubi was not saying any changes or anything like that, did not go through into it, only your father was able to study it. Do you know, the Yo Fourth Hokage's whole sealing art of, you can say, flying thunder god technique is not as advanced as he likes people to think. It is only level high, you can say, high 8 to high 9 level, mostly high 9 level of a seal master can actually make that seal, though he was not the one to design it, he only improved the seal. So if you want to do that as well, you would need, you can say, the initial formula for that would be made by Mito Uzumaki as well as some of the Funshin masters, and it was gifted to the second, you can say, the youngest son of the Batsuma Senju, known as Tobirama Senju, and no, he was not the one to create that jutsu, it was gifted to him, though he is, you can say, main theory, he was the one who came up with it, though the design was made by the Uzumakis. As Naruto thought it for some time, it does make sense. After all, it was, you can say, warring clan state. There was no way Tobirama could have studied such a art for such a long time and create a teleportation technique. He was also wondering how did, you can say, a Senju was able to go to the high 10 level of Funcjutsu and be able to create such a technique such as the flying thunder god technique. As Naruto said, so Fourth Hokage only advanced it as Biju simply nodded at that. It was a Uzumaki seal, and it was not hard for him to advance it after learning it from an Uzumaki. And there were many scrolls about the seal to begin with. They also made an improved formula, though it was never applied. But I think that Minato applied it in his formula so that he can move even faster and things like that. As Naruto nodded at that, I do not have such scrolls, but knowledge is knowledge. I will learn it and hopefully be able to create a better technique than the flying thunder god technique. As QB simply nodded at that. Alright then, it's about time that I increase your training even further. And it's about time that I start teaching you about jutsus as well. As Naruto simply nodded at that, and now finally we have a final time skip of half an year. In this time, Naruto was learning and he was easily 9.5 Seal Master at this point. After Naruto Chakra Reserve got increased, Kyuubi forced him to create even more Shadow Clones so that he can learn and he will take care of the whole thing. After all, the, you can say, the more easily and faster Naruto learns things, the more, you can say, more early he will get out of this seal, this damn seal. So QB was trying to make Naruto learn things quickly as Naruto was learning it also. After all, 2000 shadow clones within one's head could do wonder for you, as well as practicing outside of it as well, thanks to the help of at least 100 shadow clone. While on the other hand, you can say Konoha Council did not care much about it. After all, in their eyes, he was just a demon and nothing more than that. And the Hokage also did not care. After all, he was not the original Jinchuriki. He was just a scapegoat, nothing more than that. And finally, now Naruto was 9 years old. In this time, he was training fiercely with Kyuubi, as well as his physical power was also strengthened by Kyuubi. As now, Naruto was standing in front of Kyuubi as he said, "Alright, today is the final exam, Naruto. In these 3 years, you have been able to reach to the level that I have never thought was possible. But then again, you were using thousands of Shadow Clone." As Naruto smiled sheepishly, as Kyuubi simply smirked. In this time, both of them had, you can say, at least somewhat of a relationship. As Kyuubi said, "Alright, Naruto, so I'm gonna give you a final gift, but before that, I want you to show me what you have learned." And finally, it's about time for the level 10 Seal Master, the highest level. But do remember, from Here on, you can say the above level of the Uzumaki secret. I do not know much about it because even Mito Uzumaki did not practice it that much. Remember, there are 15 level to an Uzumaki, while on the outside there are only 10 level. Even your father, who call himself a Funchishu master, is only 9.5 level of a Funchishu master. Last time I checked. Your mother is only 9 level. She never studied the Uzumaki art that much after all. As Naruto simply nodded, so where's the test? As Kyuubi simply smirked and showed him a seal as Naruto simply looked towards it and finally decided to, you can say, as Kyuubi showed him a situation to make a seal, how to counter it properly, as Naruto started to make a seal after all, as it would be quite a difficult of a level, as Naruto started to go through all the seal and katas about it, as Kyuubi was wondering in you can say quite thinking if Naruto were to complete this seal, then Naruto would definitely to be the level to complete his promise, as the seal was going on. As finally Naruto completed it and showed him as Kyuubi looked towards the seal and the intrigue design. To be honest, he was not able to understand it much as he narrowed his eyes. What does this seal actually do? As Naruto simply gave a small smile to the Kyuubi as he said, well, this seal is specifically designed to take one's chakra and strengthen its own power and its main function is to make a person immune to one specific thing about the ninja art. As Kyuubi had some feeling about it, what was Naruto gonna say? As Naruto looked towards Kyuubi as he said, well, this seal is purposely made for a Biju to make it immune to humans regardless of the any human corrupted or not chakra make him immune to yin half of human's chakra, while on the other hand yang half could also be immune, though it is mostly physical. So it would be a lot harder after all because that space-time concept would also be involved in that, while on the other hand this seal specifically in short term Kyuubi will take your chakra and strengthen itself as long as you have this seal imprinted in your very chakra, then you will be immune to the genjutsu regardless if it is came from the Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan, the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Though the dojutsu, now known as the Rinnegan, it will depend how strong you actually are to resist it or not. As Kyuubi thought it for some time, he really hated that Sharingan, and as much as he hated to say it, he would still be caught by it regardless of his power, but the seal will give him a chance to fight. He does not know if it will be strong enough to prevent him to be controlled by Madara Uchiha, but it is the best bet he actually have. As he simply gave Naruto a, you can say, foxy grin at that, as Naruto simply smirked as he said, alright, let's begin this, shall we? As he finally gave the seal to Kyuubi, who grabbed it and seal started to glow, and suddenly whole body of Kyuubi once again surrounded by the seal matrix, and suddenly it vanished. As suddenly you can say a Mangekyo design suddenly appeared on Kyuubi's chest, as Kyuubi as well as Naruto both noticed it and it started to crumble even further as Naruto narrowed his eyes. That was a type of contract Mangekyo, wasn't it? As Kyuubi narrowed his eyes, he did not knew that it was still there. Or how was this even possible? But then it makes sense. It must be Madara. He must have put it on me to summon me whenever he wanted, as well as the Mangekyo design, so I will not be able to avoid it. It seemed that this seal is strong enough to cancel out that contract permanently, as well as making me immune to the Mangekyo Sharingan to a large degree. As he smirked towards Naruto, as Naruto simply smirked at that, as he said, alright then, it seemed that my Funchishu training has finally came to an end, huh? As Kyuubi simply nodded, it's about time that you fulfill your other promise as well. As Naruto nodded, you know that I cannot release you here. I have to leave the village. As Kyuubi simply shrugged, that was also the part of the deal. You do not want to stay in this village who will try to make you into a weapon. After all, I did notice that the Ambu lately are keeping an eye on you. As Naruto simply shrugged at that, the Hokage want me to enter into the academy. He tried to pursue me, saying that how I had potential and things like that. He's been, you can say, trying to make me convince me for last 2 months. As Kyuubi nodded at that because it was about time that Naruto entered into the academy, though he was wondering why he did not ask him to enter when he was 8 years old. But then it makes sense. At the first year, it was only the civilians and things like that, and the civilian council must have said that how they will not, you can say, have it and things like that. So Naruto had to go to directly into the shinobi section where, you can say, those bigoted shinobis and so-called teachers will not teach him anything, and he will have a lot of trouble even reading books. It seems that the Hokage wants to make things difficult, huh? As well as the villagers. As Naruto looked towards the QB. So what's the plan, huh? Even though I can say that I'm strong and all that, I can say I can easily take on any Chunin whatsoever. Though the Chunins will give me trouble, but my Shadow Clone and my Jutsus will definitely give them a tough fight. But still, I do not think that I am strong enough to take on many of the Hunter Nins they will try to send after me. SQB thought it for some time. Well, Brad, it's about time that I give you my final gift before you release me, of course. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, and what would that be? SQB smirked as he said, well, in these 3 years I have been teaching you, I am also doing something to your body. As Naruto narrowed his eyes at that. And what do you mean by that? As QB simply smiled and said, don't worry about it. It's nothing you can say to harm you. It is more like a gift. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, what do you mean by that? As QB said, well, since I have been sealed inside of you when you were just a child and have already regained all of my power back to me. As QB looked back towards him, 8 tails were, as well as half of his other tail has already regained its color, only half of it remained. In more likely 1 to 2 months, I will be able to regain all of my power back to me. So, I was changing your DNA a bit, and now I have been finally able to crack it and add some elements which I wanted into it. In short, Brad, I'll be giving you a Kekkei Genkai. As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, a Kekkei Genkai, huh? And what would that be? A body base or a chakra base? As QB simply chuckled, well, this would be a center of both of them, a body base as well as a chakra base Kekkei Genkai, more like a dojutsu. After all, changing one's eye's DNA is more, you can say, a lot easier than to meddling with whole body and each and every cell of it. As Naruto nodded at that, so what did you give me, huh? After all, I have not activated any dojutsu. As QB said, well, I have been, you can say, changing it, and only the final stage is left. A small burst of my chakra will do the trick, and you will be able to activate your dojutsu. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, and what would that do, huh? As QB said, well, first of all, the dojutsu will make you immune to any and all chakra, you can say Jin half attack. Just the same gift you gave me, so make us equal now. As Naruto's eyes widened, well, it would be able to protect you even from the genjutsu of the Mangekyo Sharingan. I am more than sure about it. As Naruto had a small smile on his face, and next, you will be able to control all 5 elements you will be able to have all 5 elements, but here's the fun trick, Brad. You would be able to control any and all nature releases as well as sub-elements such as the crystal release as well as the wood release. As his smirk at that, as Naruto's eyes widened at that, you can say information, the wood release is said to be a legendary Kekkei Genkai. As Naruto said, but how? How is that even possible? As Kyuubi simply shrugged, well, it's all about DNAs and things like that, Brad. I will not be sure, I am not sure that your wood release would be same or equal to the level of Hashirama Senju, the man, was special, though I'm pretty sure that you would be able to use it to the only same scale or if not greater. If you train with it hard enough with your chakra reserves, you should be able to handle it. And more specifically, your eye's final stage, you would have to unlock it. It will be with hard training, but if you're able to unlock it, then your eyes will let you can say, replenish your chakra within a blink of an eye. As not to raise an eyebrow at that, what do you mean by that? How is that even possible? If I'm not mistaken, any and all Kekkei Genkai, regardless if they are dojutsu or body base Kekkei Genkai, use chakra, how will it even help me? As QB said, well, in simple terms, Brad, it will absorb chakra from the very nature. You will essentially become a sage. Though if you're able to learn the sage mode, it would also help. But it does not matter. Those eyes of yours will, you can say, subconsciously absorb chakra from the nature and convert it into your natural stream of chakra. And as well as there is another higher level of it, though that one would be a lot tougher to master. With that, if you're able to activate it, your regeneration would be even stronger than that of Hashirama Senju, as well as you would essentially become a sage. Though, if you're able to master the Sage mode separately, then that level of the eyes will automatically activate. As Naruto thought it for some time, that those abilities are really strong. Essentially, he will have all the powers that the QB was providing him at the moment without, you can say, utilizing the power of the QB. As Naruto gave QB a small smile at that as he said, alright, so when are we gonna do it? SQB simply smirked as he said, tonight, of course. As Naruto smirked back, so tonight it is, huh? And now let us get back to Naruto as Naruto was sitting on the, you can say, Hokage monument as QB said. So, it's about time, brat. Are you sure that you have mastered that skill? As Naruto simply smirked at that, don't worry about it, it will work. As QB simply nodded at that, as Naruto looked towards the village and slammed his hand together as chakra started to channel into his body. As some of the at the night time, some of the shinobis who were, you can say, wandering the streets narrowed their eyes after seeing the rush of chakra, and suddenly Kyuubi's chakra could be fed across the village as Hokage, as well as many of the shinobis were wondering what is going on here. As Hiruzen first thought that somehow Menmei Naruko has came back, but then he shook his head. If that were to be the case, Jiraiya would have told him. And on top of that, you can say there was only one person who had the power of the Kyuubi, that would be Naruto, while many of the shinobis were wondering if the shield has broken or things like that, as Kyuubi pushed his chakra towards the eyes as Naruto eyes shut open as he could feel pain, a lot of it, but he was controlling his screams as Kyuubi simply nodded at that. It took at least one worth, you can say one tail worth of chakra, but at least now those eyes will activate as Naruto's eyes shot open as a, you can say, a pattern started to appear in Naruto's eyes. A star was in both of the eyes as you can say red as well as yellow light inside of it. A small, you can say, red pupil in the center, while in the outside there was a yellow star. As suddenly Naruto's body, as Naruto simply smirked after sensing many of the chakra, as he saw that Hokage was looking towards Naruto. Strangely, as Naruto simply smirked, as he slammed his hand together, and suddenly, you can say, fire started to engulf him, and with a burst of fire, he vanished from the area as Hokage and Shinobi had just landed. As third Hokage narrowed his eyes, what is going on here? How is that even possible? He tried to stretch his senses, but the kid was nowhere in the whole village. That kid has just released a lot of 9 days chakra, which means that he must be in contact with the 9 days. This is bad. He has to inform Minato as quick as possible. And he sent his Ambu a look, find the kid as soon as possible, as he simply nodded at that and went off into the village, as well as some of them outside of the village, while only then far away at the border of the Five Country, Naruto is strong. You can say some of the travelers were, you can say, doing their own thing as well as small fire to keep the animals away. Suddenly that fire engulfed into a flame as Naruto arrived at it as he landed and breathed a little as he smirked as Kyuubi said, that was quite dangerous if you ask me. As Naruto simply chuckled at that, well, don't worry about it, nothing happened. And you can see, these are just travelers. I do not sense their chakra level, which means that they are civilians. So, where we should go now, huh, QB? As QB said, don't ask me questions whose answer you already know. As Naruto simply chuckled, well then, Uzushio, it is. As he looked towards the sea, after all, that was the main reason he had decided to come to this side of the border. After all, he had decided to revive his ancestral home. Kushina has abandoned it, but he will not do so. After all, Konoha has decided to join. He just need, you can say, a boat, and he will be in Uzushio. Hopefully, those, you can say, security seals which were pushing all the shinobis of the other nations away will recognize him as an Uzumaki. Otherwise, he would have to tamper with the barrier. And he simply did not want to do that, even though he knows a lot about Seal. He did not want to mess with the Uzumaki work, which will definitely be for the protection, and that would be at least 14 to 15 level Uzumaki standard. Of course, as QB said, don't worry about it. Your mother was able to enter it, but she was not able to go into a lot of it because of the, you can say, several traps that were laid down there. And you can say Konoha Shinobi did not wanted her to be hurt. After all, she was my Jinchuriki. As Naruto understood it, as well as your mother was quite emotional at the time. So Konoha was not able to get inside of it a lot because of the many traps that were laid there. And Kushina, being my Jinchuriki and only person to go there, would still be at a risk. Yes, Naruto nodded at that. So you mean that there could be some other secrets laid there? As Kyuubi simply nodded at that and shrugged. Well, there could be, you can say, Uzumaki were quite intelligent people if you ask me. There could be many things there. There could be a lot of secret library, treasures, and who knows, there might even be a restoration seal at there. As Naruto thought it for some time, if he were to be the head of the Uzumaki clan and knows about, you can say, sealing god, he would definitely put a restoration seal at the top, you can say, in the village, and that would be a definite thing to restore everything and anything, well, not living, of course, though, to turn them back to their original position in which at the time seal was actually activated the first time. As Naruto thought it for some time, this is just a theory, but there is a possibility as well. So he simply nodded at that. Well then, hope for the best. QB smirked, prepare for the worst. As they finally arrived to the, you can say, boat and transformed. Thanks to his, you can say, solid transformation, he was able to transform into a some, you can say, traveler who want to see the ruined nation of the Uzushu and things like that. Though the captain of the ship, who was one of the spies, was, you can say, a bit surprised and also a bit, you can say, suspicious. But after seeing that how this person was emitting no chakra and he was mostly a civilian, as some of the members which were actually Naruto's shadow clone, who were also discussing about that how, you can say, the history of the place and things like that. So the spy thought that it must be, you can say, some travelers who simply wanted to go to the Uzushio about the research and things like that. And hopefully they will not dwell too into the nation because of the security seal that is located at its capital. So he simply shrugged and finally took them to the main shore. And after that, he simply went off to do his other business because these are just civilians and travelers. As not to simply smirk at that. You're right. That person, he's definitely a spy for Jiraiya. As QB simply smirked, don't worry about it. As Naruto simply nodded, after all, he has made sure to fool them. Even if Jiraiya were to hurt some civilian, you can say, researchers has arrived here, he will not think much of it. After all, his spies are death sensors, so they would be able to catch up any chakra. As Naruto smirked, well then, Fujitsu is always great, I suppose. As Kyuubi simply smirked at that, well then, it's about time you get into the destroyed city. This place is quite rich in nutrients, you should be able to find your food. As Naruto simply nodded at that and finally arrived to the place, and now let us get back to Konoha. As Hiruzen Sarutobi has sent many shinobis in and outside of the village to find the kid, Minato will not like if his plans were to be disturbed just like that. After all, he has plans for Naruto to make him the head of the side branch of the Namikaze family, which is more like, you can say, the Hyuga branch. After all, both of these clans were old allies and they were the ones who came up with the seal. The Hyugas, the two, you can say, seal away dojutsu, while only then the side branch of the Namikaze clan had a, you can say, seal on them to make them obey the head of the clan no matter what, regardless of the order. So more likely, you can say, Hyuga and Namikaze clan had old history and things like that. So the kid would more definitely be just like a servant, just like the side branch of the, you can say, Hyuga clan. It would be same as Naruto would be servant to Naruto as well as Menma, since they would be the member of the main branch, since the Uzumaki clan has been dissolved or would be dissolved in the near future with the permission of the, you can say, the fire daimyo into, and the Namikaze clan and Kushina will, you can say, leave the name of the Uzumaki and enter into the whole Namikaze family. So she would, you can say, lose the rights, and Minato has, you can say, promised all the council members as well as even Hiruzen himself that he will give the, you can say, the clan rights of the as well as the property as well as all the fortune of the Uzumaki clan to the clan heads as well as their secrets, as Kushina wholeheartedly agreed with her beloved, saying that how she does not need those things after all. They are just, you can say, old scrolls and things like that. And she already knew most of them. And even if she gave these clans these scrolls, there is no way they can learn more things from it. After all, the Uzumakis are the only one who can learn it. But unknown to all of them, their plans has already been, you can say, destroyed because a little trip of Naruto into the, you can say, Hokage vault has already cleaned up everything belonging to the Uzumaki clan. Now, on the other hand, Naruto was drawing the seal all over the place as he said, this place will do the thing. As Kyuubi looked towards Naruto, Naruto, are you sure about it? As Naruto nodded at that as he said, well, this is definitely a thing, Kurama. It will help you a lot, trust me. As Kyuubi simply nodded at that. To be honest, he has gotten a bit attached to the human kid, but he is finally gonna have his freedom. Well, in a sense, of course, he will still have all of his power, and he will have it. You can say, in time, Naruto has promised him to find a, you can say, summoning realm as well as using his power and some knowledge. He would have, you can say, he would make a start of the Fox clan as well so that they can adopt into the Fox clan and become just like the summons. And thanks to the power of the QB, it would not be that hard. It would be a new future for the Fox clan as QB would be the head of it. He would be protected by that way. Since he would essentially be exiled from this dimension into another one, just like all the summons actually are. As Naruto finally completed the seal and finally wrote the seals on top of his seal and checking them and double checking them and third time check them as well and check them 5 times more and do it 1 time more. As QB said, alright Naruto, that is enough. The seal is perfect. I have seen it myself. Even though I do not know all the features of it, I must say, you can say thinking of about the seal is really something else. As Naruto simply smiled at that, I just want to make it sure that it would work. So, are you ready about it? As QB simply nodded at that as Naruto finally nodded as he arrived at the center of the seal and decided to activate the seal. And suddenly a surge of chakra started to go through his whole body as he could feel the pressure and the seal which was making a small hole inside of it. As you can say, chakra started to leak from Naruto's body as seal started to glow all over the place, and after some time a gigantic puff of smoke were to appear as Naruto was thinking that how the QB is finally out. He was sweating hard and all the smoke finally cleared as Naruto blinked once, then twice, and then third time as he burst into laughter as a small fox was in front of Naruto as he was at the same size of Akamaru. As QB blinked as he looked around and then he looked towards Naruto and then looked towards his body as his eyes, you can say, shot open and mouth wide open, and then he glared towards him. What did you do to me? As Naruto chuckled as he said, to be honest, I do not know. I was pretty sure that I have completed the sale. What could actually be wrong? As he started to look around the place, as QB looked towards his body, there was something wrong. As he closes his eyes as he said, Naruto, take some step backs. As Naruto simply nodded, as Kyuubi's body started to, you can say, glow with chakra, as final of his tail started to glow, and finally it has, you can say, regained its color. Kyuubi Yoko has regained all of its power, and suddenly he started to grow in size. As Naruto was looking towards it, as finally Kyuubi, but it was at his full might, at his full power, as he was standing tall. As he looked toward the fresh air, finally, after you can say a century, he was free. As he looked towards the small form of the human child who has freed him, but he could still feel the connection to the seal. He can reverse summon himself into the seal if he so desire. It seemed that a small hole was made inside of the seal, which will allow him to leave, though it will prevent him to take over Naruto's body at the same time as well. Quite genius, huh? The kid is becoming really a shinobi. As he smirked at that, as he shrank once again back into a human-sized horse, As he looked towards, you can say, Naruto, as I said, well, this size would do. I would not want to, you can say, attract too much attention. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he bring out a small paper and put it on the head of Kyuubi, and he did not stop him. And suddenly Kyuubi's body glowed once again as Naruto said that will make a protective barrier around you. Thus, you can say preventing your chakra to be filled. If we were to leave here, your chakra would be filled. Though would be felt in this place if some of the sensors were to arrive here from whatever place you walk away. There is always some of your chakra always linger behind. This will prevent it, making a small barrier around you, and thus returning the chakra back to you as well. Scooby nodded at that. This does make sense after all. They are the chakra beings, and whenever they walk around, chakra imprints always left behind. As he simply nodded by looking towards Naruto, who smiled towards his friend. As Naruto said, "Alright, QB, maybe we should, you can say, try to find some place." As but before he could say much, Kurama. As Naruto looked towards QB as he said, "My name is Kurama. Call me Kurama." This not the 90s or anything like that. As Naruto looked towards him for some time, but then a small smile came to his face. "Alright, Kurama, let's go." As QB simply smirked at that, something inside of him telling him that, oh, these things are gonna be a lot of fun in the near future. Well then, the Elemental Nations, the Shinobi world, is always interesting. So yeah guys, here I will leave this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, you guys already know the like goal, which is gonna be, let's see about it, 300 likes and 150 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, if you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be a lot helpful to me. And yeah guys, also I have put the link of my Instagram within the description below. So please follow me on Instagram. And yeah guys, if you guys have some ideas about, you can say, the next video or some ideas what I should do in the next part, please tell me in the comment section. It would be a lot helpful. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoy your day, and yeah, peace.